Saw what she did. Despite not being the first lady any longer, Michelle Obama seems to still wants to live like one, but now has the added benefit of not trying to keep up political appearances and also the advantage of a fully paid security team at all times. She hasn't stopped rubbing elbows with Hollywood elites, as was evident at brunch this week, along with something else shocked people saw. The former First Lady was known for hosting lavish White House parties and putting rappers and their wives on the guest list, who she was seemingly desperate to be friends with. This socialite mentality appears to have stepped up a notch now that she's not under citizens' constant watch, or so she thought before what was just caught at her Boozy Brunch that has made many people irate. Page 6 reports that Michelle met up with Hollywood heavyweights, actress Sarah Jessica Parker, reporter Robin Roberts, and Oprah Winfrey's best friend, Gayle King, at the swanky Breslin restaurant in New York City for brunch. The women were reportedly surrounded by a tight wall of Secret Service for their entire meal, which included champagne and Bloody Marys. While sipping on adult beverages with your nice meal is really no big deal, it was the excessive security she brought along that was a foolish overuse of taxpayer funds for brunch. It's ironic that the people who are so against the protection of a wall and use of firearms, including Michelle and her liberal lunch friends, required an armed barrier of protection around their booth. Michelle probably feels like she paid her dues for 8 years in the White House, which she used as her cool card to get the in with celebrities around the country. Many people feel like she exploited her role as First Lady for this reason and think that lunch outings like this show it. Russia goes public on Obama's secrets that happened during Obama's terms in office. Ever since Donald Trump got elected as president, liberals have been incessantly pushing the ridiculous propaganda about his collusion with the Russian government. As their narrative reaches a fever pitch with no sign of stopping anytime soon, Russia is about to drop a massive bombshell on Obama, and unfortunately for him and the Democrats, things could get really nasty very soon. In a recent press conference on U.S.-Russia relations, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said that Russia is considering publishing leaks about dirty secrets that Obama and his administration asked for the Russian government to keep private. The issue came up when she was specifically asked about the future of Russian-U.S. diplomatic relations in the context of the current atmosphere in Washington, D.C. Maria Zakharova: "We provided our views on bilateral relations and the reasons for blocking them under President Obama. We said that we were willing to work with the new U.S. administration, under President Trump. I don't think we need to invent anything in this respect, because so much has been said before. Simply, we should start concrete practical work. We are ready for this." From mid.ru. Zakharova went on to say that over the past few years they have witnessed many strange things with the Obama administration, things that directly violated how the Russian government transitionally did business. Whenever the Russian government would meet with the Obama administration, she said the U.S. State Department would always demand that the visit be kept a secret, which put Russia and the media in a strange situation. She expressed her frustration with the Democrats' recent practice of leaking confidential and secret information, saying that this practice would soon come to bite Barack Obama directly in the ass. Here's what she had to say. "Also, I would like to say that if the practice of leaking information that concerns not just the United States but also Russia, which has become a tradition in Washington in the past few years, continues, there will come a day when the media will publish leaks about the things that Washington asked us to keep secret, for example, things that happened during President Obama's terms in office. Believe me, this could be very interesting information. Our American colleagues must decide if they respect the diplomatic procedure, if they keep their word on the arrangements made between us, primarily arrangements made at their own request, or we create a few very nice surprises for each other. We can only assume that if Obama loyalists still hiding in the White House continue to leak intel, it's inevitable that Russia will drop a bomb about Obama. Whoa. Tom Hanks just exposed the Obamas. Actor Tom Hanks was among a select group of celebrities lucky enough to vacation with the Obamas last month. Hanks joined Oprah, Bruce Springsteen and the Obamas aboard music mogul David Geffen's super yacht for a trip to French Polynesia. But in Tell All on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Hanks indicated that perhaps he wasn't so lucky to be there. While striking a humorous tone, as is his wont, Hanks was nevertheless somewhat perturbed as he recalled. "I'll tell you one thing that happens to Tom Hanks, little Tommy Hanks on that trip. He gets screwed, but in the bad way, in the pejorative way, not in the delightful way." Seriously, who invites Tom Hanks to a swanky vacation and then leaves him in the dust? Only someone as arrogant, stuck-up and overly competitive as Michelle Obama. That's who. Look what Trump just did to make illegals suddenly cancel all their food stamps. Donald Trump delivered his long-awaited speech outlining his immigration policy on Wednesday night in Phoenix, the city where he launched his campaign on the same issue last year. A transcript of Trump's speech is below. Sections in yellow have been annotated by the Fix team and will offer more information when clicked. Thank you, Phoenix. I am so glad to be back in Arizona. The state that has a very, very special place in my heart. I love people of Arizona and together we are going to win the White House in November. Now, you know this is where it all began for me. Remember that massive crowd also? So, I said let's go and have some fun tonight. We're going to Arizona, Oklahoma? This will be a little bit different. This won't be a rally speech, per se. Instead, I'm going to deliver a detailed policy address on one of the greatest challenges facing our country today, illegal immigration. I've just landed having returned from a very important and special meeting with the President of Mexico, a man I like and respect very much. And a man who truly loves his country, Mexico. And, by the way, just like I am a man who loves my country, the United States. We agree on the importance of ending the illegal flow of drugs, cash, guns, and people across our border, and to put the cartels out of business. We also discussed the great contributions of Mexican-American citizens to our two countries, my love for the people of Mexico, and the leadership and friendship between Mexico and the United States. It was a thoughtful and substantive conversation and it will go on for a while. And, in the end we're all going to win. Both countries, we're all going to win. This is the first of what I expect will be many, many conversations. And, in a Trump administration we're going to go about creating a new relationship between our two countries, but it's going to be a fair relationship. We want fairness. But to fix our immigration system, we must change our leadership in Washington and we must change it quickly. Sadly there is no other way. The truth is our immigration system is worse than anybody ever realized. But the facts aren't known because the media won't report on them. The politicians won't talk about them and the special interests spend a lot of money trying to cover them up because they are making an absolute fortune. That's the way it is. This includes incredible Americans like 21-year-old Sarah Root. The man who killed her arrived at the border, entered federal custody and then was released into the U.S., think of it, into the U.S. community under the policies of the White House to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Weak policies. Weak and foolish policies. He was released again after the crime, and now he's out there at large. Sarah had graduated from college with a 4.0, top student in her class one day before her death. Also among the victims of the Obama-Clinton open border policy was Grant Runnebeck, a 21-year-old convenience store clerk and a really good guy from Mesa, Arizona. A lot of you have known about Grant. He was murdered by an illegal immigrant gang member previously convicted of burglary, who had also been released from federal custody, and they knew it was going to happen again. Another victim is Kate Steinle. Gunned down in the sanctuary city of San Francisco, by an illegal immigrant, deported 5 previous times. And they knew he was no good. Then there is the case of 90-year-old Earl Allender, who was brutally beaten and left to bleed to death in his home, 90 years old and defenseless. The perpetrators were illegal immigrants with criminal records a mile long, who did not meet Obama administration standards for removal. And they knew it was going to happen. In California, a 64-year-old Air Force veteran, a great woman, according to everybody that knew her, Marilyn Ferris, was sexually assaulted and beaten to death with a hammer. Her killer had been arrested on multiple occasions but was never, ever deported, despite the fact that everybody wanted him out. A 2011 report from the Government Accountability Office found that illegal immigrants and other non-citizens, in our prisons and jails together, had around 25,000 homicide arrests to their names, 25,000. On top of that, illegal immigration costs our country more than $113 billion a year. And this is what we get. For the money we are going to spend on illegal immigration over the next 10 years, we could provide 1 million at-risk students with a school voucher, which so many people are wanting. While there are many illegal immigrants in our country who are good people, many, this doesn't change the fact that most illegal immigrants are lower-skilled workers with less education, who compete directly against vulnerable American workers, and that these illegal workers draw much more out from the system than they can ever possibly pay back. And they're hurting a lot of our people that cannot get jobs under any circumstances. But these facts are never reported. Instead, the media and my opponent discuss one thing and only one thing: the needs of people living here illegally. In many cases, by the way, they're treated better than our vets. Not going to happen anymore, folks. November 8th. Not going to happen anymore. The truth is, the central issue is not the needs of the 11 million illegal immigrants or however many there may be, and honestly we've been hearing that number for years. It's always 11 million. Our government has no idea. It could be 3 million. It could be 30 million. They have no idea what the number is. Frankly, our government has no idea what they're doing on many, many fronts, folks. Steve Bannon warns Trump fans to be prepared for what's coming next. Steve Bannon just issued a warning to all the various enemies lined up against President Trump and all the fans lined up to support Trump about what's coming next. So we can all be prepared because it is going to get bloody. Quickly. Advertisement. Look, Trump is not a politician and he knew draining the swamp was never going to be easy. Bannon was a key voice, one of many, inside the Trump administration, and many wonder what will happen without him to be 100% loyal to Trump. More often than not in the debates that raged in Trump's White House over policy, it was Steve Bannon and Donald Trump versus the rest of the advisors. Advertisement. Trump and Bannon share the same core beliefs around trade, immigration, etc. Trump's been talking about getting better trade deals when Bannon was still an investment banker, so it is nonsense to say Bannon shaped Trump's views. But it is correct to say that they both share those views, and when they combined their efforts, magic happened. But governing is not campaigning, and Trump was smart enough to surround himself with a very diverse lot. But Bannon doesn't plan to go quietly and will actually be more effective helping Trump pass his agenda. If there's any confusion out there, let me clear it up. I'm leaving the White House and going to war for Trump against his opponents, on Capitol Hill, in the media, and in corporate America, Bannon told Bloomberg News. The Trump presidency that we fought for, and won, is over, he said. We still have a huge movement, and we will make something of this Trump presidency. But that presidency is over. Bannon went on to explain that President Trump's administration will probably be much more conventional with his exit, and to be honest, this may be a good thing. As we have seen, the swamp bites back. Trump is flexible. He came in with a mandate and trusted Congress to do their jobs. They blew it, so now Trump will change course a bit and try a different tack. And Bannon is in a good spot to drive the media narrative in a way that serves Trump, not hurts him, as CNN does. Now, it's gonna be Trump, Bannon said. I just think his ability to get anything done, particularly the bigger things, like the wall, the bigger, broader things that we fought for, it's just gonna be that much harder. Now I'm free. I've got my hands back on my weapons, he added before issuing his warning to Trump's enemies. Someone said, "It's Bannon the Barbarian. I am definitely going to crush the opposition. There's no doubt. I built a f-king machine at Breitbart. And now I'm about to go back, knowing what I know, and we're about to rev that machine up. And rev it up we will do,